So thank you for everyone who has joined us today or who is even watching recorded. Welcome to the Team Butterfly Effect All Hands Call. I'm your fearless leader, Aubrey Warren. Today's Friday, October 10th, 2014, and I just have to say, I'm sorry if this new call time does not work for you. However, I just have to say how much I love ending my week with all of you. I love this new time slot. I love that I'm not exhausted by the time I see you at the end of the day. So thank you for tuning in. So today we're going to be discussing the perfect power hour. For some of you, this may be old hat and you got this, but for those new coaches, this is going to be some really important information. And I'm also going to share with you the reason why I am reiterating on this as well is because since my life has changed, since my youngest has gone to school, I am more strict about my power hour at this point because some days I really truly only have an hour too, just like you. When I say power hour, that's not going to include Facebook posts and so on. So that's a different beast, but let's get into it. 15 minutes, your first 15 minutes, I call keep your promises. Why? Because people talk and you promised to help people lose weight. You promise to hold people accountable. You promise to answer people's questions. You promise to help them. So that means, you promise to coach and motivate them through their programs. And so you're going to check in with your challenge groups. You're going to like, comment. So there should not be a comment in your challenge group left unliked by you because that's your way of telling them I see you. I'm paying attention to you, whether or not you comment. Answer all questions and tag people, especially if it's been a quiet group. Every Monday, I use Hootsuite to program my posts, but every Monday I hand type in to all of the groups that I'm running, in all caps, accountability time. How are you? Are you on track? How is your body feeling? I need to check in today. And then I tag everybody who's in the group. Save time by posting through Hootsuite. Obviously, we just discussed that. If you're running more than a couple groups at a time, it might be worth your money to upgrade to the Hootsuite Pro. I have that because I think you're only allowed maybe 2 or 3 groups to post in via Hootsuite, maybe 1. I don't know. It's really minimal. So once you grow higher up in your business, that might be worth an investment to you because let's face it, if you're running multiple challenge groups at a time, you're making more money because you've had to have more people commit to those groups. Check in with the groups you are accountable to. So Team B, Rockstar Presenters, New Coach Fast Track, or any other new coach training program that you're a part of. So, I'm going to have to be honest. Besides my Team B group, because that's my baby, right? I was struggling for a while within my power hour to get all of the groups accounted for. Obviously, you all are going to get more benefit if you're plugging into my page and the Rockstar page. However, I understand if you're like several tiers down from me and say for example, you're one of Christina Welch's coaches. Okay, so it goes me, Ann Heath, Christina, and then her coaches. So I can understand why, say, like Christina's coaches isn't plugging into the Rockstar page. I mean, that's a lot of layers up. So hopefully, between me and Ann and Christina, we are giving at least the same information or sharing it down with our group. If any time Amanda has some really, really, really important stuff, I do my best to share it with you. The stuff that I don't pass along are the things that she just does for engagement, Flex Friday and so on. She does those for engagement to keep people engaged and plugged in. So I'm not going to filter those down. However, that said, I was talking to Amanda on one of my KPIs, key performance indicators, and was telling her that like I was going through a little bit of a phase where I felt like in our Team B page, the engagement had really dropped. It was really high for a certain amount of time, and it had really dropped. And she encouraged me to start practicing being not only the type of leader that I want to have, but also the type of team member that I want to have. So I'm doing my best now to spend a little bit more time engaging in the Rockstar page and engaging in the VIP group and the groups above me. So that's just a word or advice. So if you're having trouble getting your people to really engage, it's the law of attraction. So if your people aren't engaging on your page, you need to ask yourself, am I engaging on the Team B page? Like because it's hard for me to ask people to do things that I'm not willing to do. So at least engage with your uplines page and then your page if you have one as well. Real quick, as far as also checking in with your challenge groups and also the groups that you're accountable for, all the groups that I'm running and also the groups that I'm leading, every Friday, as I call it in my head, it's my Shout Out Friday, and I have a reminder that goes off on my phone every Friday at 1:30 that says, give a shout out to at least one person in every group. So I think out of like the 5 groups that I'm a part of right now, I had to come up with one person that had done something to get my attention. Because the point of that is people like to get a shout out. So if they notice that such and such got a shout out for doing this last week, I mean, everybody likes to feel validated. So just pay attention to those people who are doing really well and give them a shout out because it's going to make them do more. But in turn, it's going to make other people notice, oh, okay. And it might make them engage a little bit more too. So keep your promises first and foremost. And I highly encourage you too, if you're really stuck to that 1 hour mark, set a timer. Set a timer on your phone, set a timer on your microwave, set a timer anywhere you can. And when it goes off, you move on. You have to, that's a discipline too. You move on. Go to the office. So go plug in your office. Check your alerts. Are there any new emails or breaking news from the company? Any new leads you need to check in with before they forget about you? So this is what I do when I get a new lead. First and foremost, we get their email address. So I will copy their email address and I will go and paste it into Facebook to see if I can find them. If I can find them, I send them a friend request. I text them regardless and I email them regardless. That's why it is really nice to, if you can, to have a time in your power hour where it is okay to text people. But say if your power hour is at 10 o'clock at night, because you work a full-time job, or it's at 5 o'clock in the morning because you work a full-time job. Set a reminder in your phone to text those people like over your lunch break at work. I always send a text and I always send an email. The reason why is because I don't want to get reported to the Facebook police that I'm sending spam. So I want them to know ahead of time that it's from me. So with the email, I always send a message that says one of two things. Primarily, hi, I'm your new coach. How did you hear about Beachbody? What are your goals? I'm here to help you and support you. And then then one of the last statements is, are you on Facebook? I searched for you recently and I couldn't find you. Do you happen to be listed under a different name, or can you send me a friend request? Click on the link below. And I have in my signature a link for my Facebook page. Or it says, I found you on Facebook earlier today. Would you please accept my friend request? That's one of the best ways to stay in touch with me. So I always put that on there too. And I have that generic email. I call it my intro email, saved on my desktop. So it's literally just cut and paste and I fill in their name and that's it. It makes it really easy. I add them to my contacts list, obviously. Oh, and when I send them a text, I don't send them the same email or the same message that I sent them via email. It generally says, so say if my new lead is Jill. I see Jill's face, so that's what I'm going to say. Say my new contact is Jill. I'm going to send her a text that just says, is this Jill? And that's it. And that's it. Because then what are you going to get? You're going to get a reply back that says, who's asking? Why? Who wants to know? And then at that point, you use it as an opportunity to engage with them. Hi, my name's Aubrey. I was assigned as your Beachbody coach. I saw that you ordered Brazil butt lifts. Have you received it, or have you seen the tracking information to know when you're going to get it yet? Just start with building the relationship and let them know you're there for support. Do you have any new coaches in your organization that you need to reach out to, or maybe you need to give a shout out to that week, or maybe you're waiting to have a coach sign on a dotted line or make a purchase or so on, and you need to check to see if it happened. Or maybe you say you just found out that someone was potentially going to buy or sign up, and you want to go see if it went through, but then also where did they get put in your downline? Were there any mistakes? Did you have it set for your right preferred placement, that you really wanted it to go on your left? Because you have, I think is it 48 hours or 72 hours to rectify that if you put them in the wrong place in your organization. And please, this is just a sidebar. If you'd like me to look at your back office and study your organization to see if you're placing people in the right place, please let me know, because I would be more than happy to do that, because I know I just did it for Becca the other day, and we realized that I hadn't looked at her back office in a long time, and she was really unbalanced, and so her paychecks could be a lot higher. I'm sorry for sharing your business, Becca, but there's nothing major here. Her paychecks could be a lot higher if we just had people placed in a different way. So don't let that go for too long if you don't know what you're looking for. If you know what you're looking for, great, okay? Are any coaches set for inactive? This is very, very important to do before Wednesday, because obviously we have paychecks on Thursday, and so you don't want to be in a panic at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night that you're going to drop from Diamond to Emerald, or you're going to drop from Emerald to Coach. You definitely don't want that to happen. So say if you do have people inactive, and it's Monday, and you have a couple different choices to do. You can either reach out to those people and ask them if they're okay. Maybe they didn't realize. I mean, because I have played the favor card. Like, did you know that whenever you put your stuff on hold, that it screws up my ranking and my paychecks and so on? And sometimes through just a simple conversation, they're like, oh, well, I just didn't need my Shakeology right now, but I really would like to get some E&E, or I would really like to get some results in recovery. I'll go on and I'll just make a $50 purchase that I was planning on making next week, just to get back active for you. Okay, cool. One other thing that I've done many times is when I've seen people have gone inactive, I know I got to fill that space, and I got to fill that space like tomorrow, right? If this is Monday. So this is my trick for those people when you just need a space filled. I go and I look for anybody who I have a good relationship with, who I've built good rapport with, who's bought a challenge pack in the last 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and I pull the favor card. Not lying. I'll pull the favor card. If they're still drinking Shakeology and and they're still part of my challenge groups and they haven't signed up to be a coach, I will call them personally, or I will Facebook them personally, and I'll tell them the situation. Hey, I am about ready to drop rank in my organization, which is going to affect my paychecks highly. I have a favor to ask of you. If you would be willing to sign up as a coach in the next 2 days, it would really help me out, hold my rank, and hold my pay status. However, it's not just for me, it's also for you, because I hadn't told you yet, but you really do have the option to upgrade to become a coach for free. And all that's going to mean for you at this point in time in the game is that you're going to save $15 on your next bag of Shakeology. Would you be willing to do me a favor, and it will save you some money next month? I have never had anyone tell me no. Never. When I've asked that question, I've never had anyone tell me no, because I just go genuine in it. It's like, this is something that will help me. It's going to save you some money. And if you decide you want to quit next month, fine. She'll probably be active again by then. Okay? So always play the favor card. Watch for those inactive coaches. Check Success Club points and point volumes. So why is this important? Obviously, we're working towards the goal of Success Club 5 or Success Club 10. You all have your different goals based on your own, just what you're striving for within your own organization. But why are point volumes important? That's really going to determine, it's going to determine your paychecks. It also lets you know who in your organization is doing what. So if I see that my left leg, which I have almost all of my coaches on my left leg, but still my right leg is just like blowing it out of the water, I know that a lot of the people on my left leg aren't doing much. Now, obviously that's nothing personal. I can't go make them go out and invite more people, but I can reach out to my leaders in the organization and just kind of try to dig and find out what's going on. Also, you want to watch your point volumes to know where to put your next coach. Because if you have, let's go small point volumes, if you have 400 point volumes on your right leg and currently your left leg is set at 0 and you're about to sign a new coach, the last thing you want to do is add another coach to that right side. You need to build the other side until you get your point volumes more balanced. So that's 15 minutes. Follow up and invite. This is your last 30. This is your most important part, I think, because this is what's obviously going to drive your business and drive your paychecks. Accept all fines, friend requests, and add to contacts. So this is my system for what I do when I meet new people. I always do this. No matter where I am out and about, maybe I'm at the grocery store, maybe I'm at my kid's baseball game, maybe I'm in a yoga class, maybe I'm at a concert and I've just connected with some cool new hippies. I don't know. I'll say, are you on Facebook or Instagram? I do both. Okay, but are you on Facebook? And the majority of people will say yes. And then I'll say, I would love to connect. You're awesome. You have a great energy. I would love to connect. Can I find myself on your phone? Do you have a smartphone? Yes. Okay, do you have Facebook on your phone? Yes. Can I find myself? Because I have a kind of a long name on Facebook, and it would just be easier that way. Usually they'll pull up Facebook. They'll hand me their phone. I never accept friend requests until I sit down to work, period. End of story. Because otherwise, if I accept them earlier, I'm going to lose that person in my head. Who was that person again? What was their name? And then I can't remember to go back and connect with them. So I'll sit down to work. I'll accept all friend requests. I'll add them to my database or to my system, whatever I'm using, my contacts list, and I'll send them this message. Hi, Jill. It was so nice to meet you the other day. I'd love to know you better. What's your story? That's it. That's all I say. And it is amazing what people will answer in that statement. Every once in a while, especially at yoga events or conscious events, so I say conscious, it means like the dance communities, the hippie dippies that I'm involved with, only they will be the ones who will say, I don't quite understand what you're asking me, because, they're all about letting go of their story and being present and whatever. And so then I'll just come back and say, what are your cliff notes? What are the cliff notes of who is Jill? What are the cliff notes of who is Eric? And then people get it. Oh, okay. And then if they say again, ask me anything, I'll type, where are you from? Are you married? I'll list a generic list of questions, so it will just get them talking to me. Follow up with all contacts you've been in correspondence with. Sometimes an invite is the natural next step of the follow-up. So true. So to continue with my fine system, after someone sends me their story, I have a generic thing in my documents. I have two of them. One is called my Cliff Notes story, and the other is called my Cliff Notes spiritual story. My Cliff Notes spiritual story gives way more information than I'm going to give the average Joe. If I don't know where they are, or if I didn't meet them at a yoga event or something like that, I'm just going to give them my generic Cliff Notes story. And, just this like, I'm from Missouri. I moved to Texas to go to TCU. I married my best friend. We stayed in Texas. I started, I used to be 50 pounds heavier. I started working out to get in shape for my wedding. A natural healing doctor prescribed I started teaching yoga, or that started practicing yoga, and it changed my life, blah, 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 my story. But then I end with the statement, I'm so passionate about helping people who are ready to find wellness in their lives through the use of nutrition, movement, and spirituality. Shakeology has been a big game changer for me. Have you heard of it? And that's how I end it. So, I've become very vulnerable, tell them more about me, but then end it with a question about Shakeology. And then they'll either tell me yes or they'll tell me no. They've heard about it or they haven't. And so generally, that's still a follow-up with them. But say if they send me back, no, I haven't. Hello. That's a good opportunity to invite them to something, to try Shakeology, to invite them to a challenge group. That then usually one of my next leaders are, Shakeology is a dense daily dose of superfood nutrition, and I use it in all of my accountability groups as a tool to make sure everybody is getting all of their proper nutrition every day. Speaking of which, I have another accountability group starting on X day. Would you be interested in more information? And that's my system. So right there, all of a sudden, they gave me their story. They were perfect. It was a perfect opportunity for an invite. So as you're doing this, I normally have my notebook where I have little tabs that say finds, invites, and follow-ups. And so I keep my stats, make a little tally mark for each thing. As a new coach, you should make it your goal to have 2 invites a day. So as you're sitting doing your follow-ups and you're making your little ticks, oh, I just invited that person. Oh, I just invited that person. Then all of a sudden, you've gotten all of your invites done, right? You've gotten all of your invites done and you didn't even have to search for anybody. High possibility that happened. If not, if you haven't hit your invite goal by the time you've finished with all of your follow-ups, make sure you finalize your invites before the hour is over. So who do you know who to invite? Anyone that's liked or commented on your recent post, go back and look at it. Anybody liked or commented on it that you haven't invited recently, that's a good person. Or go back to your old not nows. I generally don't invite someone unless it's been at least 6 months since I've spoke to them. But I've gotten into a process, just so you know, when someone tells me no or not now, if it's not, don't ever call me or speak to me again. If it's not that, I've only gotten one of those ever in 4 years, by the way. Old girl from high school probably didn't like me much anyway. Anyway, I set a timer or a reminder in my phone that, well, okay, first of all, I ask, would you mind if I checked back in with you in 3 months or in December or in whatever? And generally they're like, yeah, absolutely. And so then I set a reminder in my phone, now a reminder in Via, to have me message those people later in 6 months. So make the most of your power, make the most out of your hour. Do you have more? If you have more than just 1 hour to give, be social on social media and make some new contacts. Don't just read posts and watch videos. Make comments to grab attention. Tag people, like, comment. Here's the thing. There's an algorithm on Facebook that the more you engage with people on their posts, the more they will see your posts. So if you are just going and making blanket posts and waiting to see how many likes or comments you get, then you're not tagging people and engaging with them. You can't just like, okay, I just had Jill comment on my post. If I just comment in the thing below her and I don't tag her in it, it doesn't do a whole lot of good. But if I'm tagging to make sure she sees my stuff, next time she's going to see my stuff even more. Okay? And it's even higher likelihood when we comment on other people's stuff. So take some time to actually be social on social media because they'll see more of your stuff. If all you had was 1 hour to give, be satisfied with what you accomplished today. You know, do your best and forget the rest. Just try not to get sucked into social media to where all of a sudden your hour has gone by and you say, what the hell? Where'd my hour go? Like, I don't have any more time to work. So be very diligent about that. And if you're scanning Facebook to look to see who to invite, just really make sure it's a quick scroll and that you're not reading everybody's details, because that is a time suck in itself. So let's see here. So that is it for this training. However, Jacob's probably going to wish I didn't do this, but I'm just so excited to show her to you that I just have to, just really quick. Let me just give you a quick preview of VIA. I am going to do probably a short call for the Team B and Rockstar presenters here in the next couple weeks after I get a little bit more added. But this is VIA. This is my virtual invite assistant. Jacob is going to possibly make it available for any of you who would like to use it. And I think he's actually willing, possibly, if he hasn't changed his mind, to give it to you for free, because it will be a special software that you'll have to purchase to be able to use it. So he had a hard time saying he was going to charge you for it if you weren't going to be able to use it without a software. So as you can just see, I have add new customer, longest gap, not now, all customers, and follow-ups. So add new customer. You can see this is just the format that it looks like. So I type in their name, their lead type, the program they're doing, if I have any notes or so on. And then it just, I fill in their contact method, so Facebook or email, what they said, what I said, and the result. And if I need to follow up with them, I put a date in here and I hit follow up, and it will put them in my follow-up list. Or I have closed, so say if someone becomes a coach on my team, or if I find out that maybe they're signed up with someone else as a coach, or maybe their child is a coach, or their mom is a coach, I'll close the file. Do not call. I have one person in that, so if they tell you to never call them again. And this is the part that's not working yet that Jacob's probably going to want to update. The before and after picture, that's not working quite yet, but that will be a feature that I'll have in there too. So when people send me their before pics, I have a place to copy and save it, so it's actually organized, because that drives me crazy because my before and after pictures are not very organized right now. And then I have, this is my favorite part so far, is longest gap. So it has, look, all the people who it's been like since 2011 since I've spoke to them. So I'm starting to go through all of these people one at a time. And so say, for example, what are you doing? Are you talking to me, Jill?
No, sorry. I'm talking to my kid. I thought you had me on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, mute yourself real quick. That's okay. So, like, for example, Kelly Meyer, like, I need to do this real quick for her. I'm going to put on here, Facebook, no longer friends. I can't find her. She's one of my cousin's wives. I can't find her on Facebook anymore. So I'm going to put her into the follow-up. And so maybe in 6 months, I'll go and I'll look for her again and see if I can find her back to customer list. So literally, I'm going to be slowly going through all of these people. So now it makes like finding my people to invite super, super easy, because, I mean, I got a lot of people here who I haven't talked to in like 3 years. Right? So it'd be really easy to reach back out to those people. And so it makes it nice and convenient. Back to main menu. So I have my follow-up. So these are the people who I put dates in of where I want to follow up. So when I sit down to work, I check this to see if I have listed that I need to follow up with them on a particular date. So there's not a whole lot more to share at this point, except that this is big. More than anything, my longest gap is something that's just become wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to me. And was me and the other VIPs were, during the month of July, we were sending out 10 invites a day. And so, which has made inviting since then really, really challenging. It's like we all went through all of our contacts in that 1 month. So it's making it really challenging. And there's a lot of people in my longest gap that I haven't even thought about in a couple of years. So anyhow, that is it. I'm going to take everybody off of mute. and ask, before we end this call, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns you'd like to share?
I think that thing that Jacob designed is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. What'd you say, Eric? Eric, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good? You're good? Okay. Like I said, I think he has a pretty good feeling that he's going to offer it to you guys for free. If you want it, you'll just have to pay for the software that it will take to run it. However, if you want him to upload all of your contacts into it and all of your notes, he will charge an hourly rate to do that. But he is willing to do that for you, because every single person who's in here, I didn't put any of this in here. You know, he's done it all for me. So anyhow, hey, thank you so much for your grace this week. I really, 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 really appreciate it.